You hear us every week now talking about our friends from NewEgg. Our next guest has been with us before. They have lots of very cool products. They're doing some pretty neat things. They're the second largest online-only retailer in the United States with close to some 40,000 unique items available. And I'm fond of saying shipping like 99% of your orders within a day. Not too many people can claim to do that. Marketing Vice President for NewEgg.com is Bernard Luthi. Bernard, welcome back into tomorrow. Good to see you in person.
Thank you for having me again.
It's a pleasure. You hit, of course, some significant milestones, I think, this past year, passing some 10 million customers, as I understand, and launched a whole new business in Canada. What's in store for this year? How do you keep topping what you're doing?
Yeah, I think for us, it's really been focusing on our core business. As an organization, we take a lot of pride in the fact that our customers continue to come back. We don't do a whole lot of advertising. We do some with our general partners. We obviously do some with you because you have a great core audience to target. But really, a lot of our customers come back to us because of word of mouth.
And interesting that you say that, because already even our listeners are saying, recommending to other listeners and saying, you know what, I thought you were kidding about, good prices and they can ship right away. I'll give them a shot. I needed something. They did it.
Right.
And it was affordable because, let's face it, people shop.
Right.
You know that better than anyone. And when you can really save people money and get the product they want quickly, you're making them happy. Of course they're going to tell other people.
Yeah, and I think that's why our, in Q4 over the holidays, we had a spectacular Black Friday and Christmas season. And I think it's because people are beginning to realize that you don't need to stand in line at a store. You don't need to maybe hassle with a salesperson who's working on commission.
Yep.
And you're not going to look there and find that you've got 1, 2, 3 products and the SKU count is maybe 2 or 3 deep. You're going to get it at somewhere like a NewEgg. You're going to come in and you're going to see that we don't carry 2 brands or 3 brands. We carry 40, 50 brands within a particular category,
right,
and then 400 or 500 SKUs. Certainly, it's difficult for a brick and mortar location to carry that depth, that breadth, and that's really been, I think, the reason people have recognized us and why people continue to come back.
And of course, in addition to pricing, because here you talk about a brick and mortar store, they've got to make money on all of those things, so they're probably a little more expensive, maybe a lot more expensive than you might spend online, because they're paying for all their overhead too.
They're paying for their overhead. They've got salespeople. They've got all the things that they've got to do to keep their lights on, and there's definitely a value and a reason for people to shop retail when they need to. And certainly what we're saying is we are a great alternative to that. And I think Black Friday this year, Q4, really proved that people are beginning to flock to the web because they recognize I can get a deeper selection and I can get a competitive price. And guess what? I can get the product at my doorstep in 3 days, and I didn't have to do anything other than click and order that product.
And I'm glad you mentioned the variety of products within a given category, because you really do a lot to help folks compare.
Right.
So you want this item, this widget, whatever it might be, but look at the variety of products available and start comparing features and benefits and price. It's not just about price anymore. What do you need? What do you need it to do? You guys do a good job, I think, in helping folks shop appropriately for all kinds of consumer
Absolutely.
electronics.
One of the things, if you come to our site, what you're going to see is you're going to see customer reviews. So when you go into let's say a brick and mortar location, you're relying on that salesperson to tell you why to buy a particular product, to go through the attributes of that product, the features of that product, but they're obviously trying to sell you that product. If you come to our site, we have over 1 million customer reviews where they've actually either bought the product, reviewed the product, and then say, here's what I like, here's what I didn't like about the product, or here are my thoughts on that product. So if you're a shopper, you're getting an unbiased viewpoint of a current owner of that product telling you why it worked or why it didn't work, and then you can make a decision based on that or all the other content and the specifications that we provide on our site. Everything you need to make a purchase is on the site.
And you're not editing out the occasional negative comment that somebody had, because that's all part of shopping.
Yeah, no,
it's like, I love 9 things about this, but one thing, boy, I wish they did better on such and such. Well, fine, maybe you can live with that, and it's still a great product. Get it anyway, right?
Yeah, we do not at all edit them, other than for some language. It is a brutal and honest review, and if it's bad, it stays. If it's good, it stays, and it's amazing. If a manufacturer, and they all read those reviews, sees a bad review, they will come to us and say, okay, we've got a problem, let's fix it. And we'll either pull that product, they'll fix it, they'll rework whatever it was that was broken, and we'll reset that product on our site again. And they do take absolute care and reading those reviews, and it shows the power of the consumer.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of our listeners know that we will, for example, talk about a new product, review something, evaluate something, and maybe we say, you know what, it's not quite ready. Wait for version 2. And in many cases, as you just suggested, manufacturers do take that information and say, all right, you know what, we didn't quite get it right yet. So we're fixing things and then reintroduce it. Or here, now it has some of the additional features that make it truly more valuable.
Absolutely.
And you can compare all these things. You guys have had for a lot of years, though, a lot of very good top consumer ratings. And to be able to say the second largest online-only retailer, I'm assuming the first being Amazon.
Correct.
There's a lot of competition there. So you really work hard to strive to keep the prices low, to keep that plethora of available products and that kind of thing. How do you keep these top ratings all the time?
It is a constant focus of our company. If we're in any of our executive meetings, any of our weekly meetings, we always talk about the customer first. And I know a lot of companies do talk about the customer and say the customer comes first, and they revolve around that. It truly is something we live and breathe. We recognize that you're going to come and you're going to buy from us, and that's a great thing. But we want to make sure when you're done with your purchase, no matter what happens, you're going to come back again, but you're going to come back if we took care of you. So if something goes wrong, we're going to take care of it.
Well, no doubt here at CES, you guys and your team are scouring this show floor for the latest and greatest that you will then have available at NewEgg.com. So do check them out, NewEgg.com. Say hi to Aaron and everybody else at the team back there. And thanks for joining us here at CES.
Thanks for putting on a great show.
Our pleasure. We'll get you back again because now I want to find out what you thought was so good at this show that you're now carrying.
Great.
We'll do just that. Stay tuned. More coming up as Into Tomorrow continues. I'm Dave Graveline. We're coming to you from Las Vegas, CES 2009. Into Tomorrow on the Advanced Media Network.